Welcome to the first installment of Anatomy of a Game, where just like that frog in high school, I will be dissecting the latest current-gen games for Xbox 360 and PS3 to find out what's inside. I will be looking mostly at the gameplay systems and features, what works, what doesn't, did the developers bring anything new to the table, is there anything that could be improved, are there features that should not have been included at all. I will also take a look at the story, spoiler-free of course, as well as the graphics, sound, and replayability of the title. The first game up on the examination table, Splinter Cell Conviction.
Who are you working for? Sam Fisher, you know, is dead. The man who played by the rules, listened to the voice in his ear, he's gone. Watch your back. I can't stop him. No one can.
This is bigger than your daughter. This is bigger than both of us. The people behind this. You can't hide from them.
Who said anything about hiding? What happens next is up to you.
Splinter Cell Conviction is the fifth major installment of the franchise created and developed by Ubisoft. The first Splinter Cell was released in 2002, followed by Pandora Tomorrow in 2004, Chaos Theory in 2005, and Double Agent in 2006. The Splinter Cell games have always been defined as stealth titles. While there are few games that employ stealth as their main gameplay mechanic, other franchises in this genre include Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid, Tenchu, Hitman, and Thief. This is the only Thief game that was released on a console. It's available for the original Xbox, but is backwards compatible on the 360. If you enjoy stealth games, have a 360, and don't really game on a PC, do yourself a favor and pick this one up. In the past Splinter Cell games, players use shadows as their main source of cover to creep around in the darkness, taking out enemies with silent precision, hiding bodies along the way, and making sure to avoid detection at all costs to advance to each level's ultimate goal. You had various gadgets including goggles with night vision, thermal vision, and electromagnetic vision, a silenced pistol, and a silenced assault rifle that could fire various non-lethal rounds, gas grenades, and sticky cameras. You could hack computers, pick locks. Oh, and you could split jump between walls to take out enemies from above. Sounds like fun, right? Well, Ubisoft doesn't think so. Here are some excerpts from an Edge magazine interview with Splinter Cell Conviction's creative director, Max Belland. Here we have another case of, the core game demographic is not making us enough money. We want more. See how much you can dumb down the game to capture the more casual gaming audience. For those unfamiliar with Splinter Cell Conviction's development woes, the first trailer for the game was shown back in May of 2007, which means that this game has been in development for around 4 years. That trailer showed quite a different Splinter Cell Conviction than the one we see today. For those that don't remember or haven't seen it, let's take a look at that first trailer.
Product not yet rated.
So here we are, 3 years later, after having scrapped the original plan for this game halfway into production. Ubisoft finally brings us a new Splinter Cell. The thing about reviewing a game like Splinter Cell Conviction, where the developers have basically rebooted an established franchise, is that it deserves two different reviews. One from someone who has played through and enjoyed one or more of the previous games in the series, and the other from someone who is playing Splinter Cell for the first time with Conviction. Well, this review will be from a series veteran. To understand the new direction that Ubisoft is taking with this franchise, we need to take a look at the story. This will again be spoiler-free. Conviction takes place 3 years after the events of Double Agent. We are not told what Sam has been doing during those 3 years, but we know that he has left Third Echelon and has been grieving the loss of his daughter, Sarah, who was killed in a drunk driving accident during the events of Double Agent. Or was it an accident? This is what is presented to the players as their main motivation for playing through the events of this game. We are told that Sam has caught wind of some information that leads him to believe that Sarah's death was no accident and decides to do some investigating. Here's where this whole new Sam Fisher idea starts to fall apart. It's been 3 years. Without knowing a single thing about what happened to his daughter other than that she was killed in an accident, we are supposed to believe that after all this time, Sam is now mad as hell and not going to take it anymore. Yes, the loss of a loved one is something that stays with you for the rest of your life in some way or another, but Sam has had plenty of time to come to terms with the initial shock and disbelief of this type of life-changing event. So, Sam flies to Malta, a European country in the middle of the Mediterranean, to follow this lead. All he has with him is his trusty silenced pistol. Come on! This guy has traveled the globe for 20 plus years as an ex-Navy SEAL and the top elite agent of the NSA's most clandestine Black Ops division. And you mean to tell me that he does not have a single stash of weapons or gadgets anywhere in the world that he could use for this operation? If you think that this game is about you, the player, gathering clues and investigating the mystery concerning your daughter on your own, you're wrong. The player is provided with no information as to what Sam hopes to do while in Malta. He's just sitting at a cafe having a latte when a call comes in from an old friend telling him that some armed men are coming for him and that you need to do what she says or bad things will happen. Already, the power to control your own fate is taken away from the player, and this does not change at all throughout the entire game. While playing through the story most of the time, I had no idea why I needed to go to the places I went or do the things I was doing. When I finally got to the end and found out why, it was one of those moments where you're just like, really? Seriously? Throughout the game, I was just listening to the voice in my ear and following the instructions projected onto the wall. One of the new ways that Ubisoft has developed to keep the player immersed in the game is this feature of projecting new mission objective text onto objects in the environment. You can also press the select button at any time to look at the text again, although this hardly works well. Sure, it's new, it's different, and doesn't really get in the way, but I honestly can't see too many other games using this feature. I mean, it's hardly that immersive. It's actually pretty unnatural to see large glowing text appear on random objects in the environment. What's wrong with having mission objectives appear on a PDA type device or mobile phone where, when the player presses a button, like select, the PDA swings up like a person does when looking at it? That would be more immersive to me. I guess Sam also forgot to bring his phone with him. Looking around, the graphics in the environment don't look too bad. Look at all the pretty colors. Just don't get too used to them, because you'll be playing most of the game like
I don't
this.
dance anyway, so what's your point?
You dance just fine, silly.